everybody. My name is and my session today will be about monetization of mobile apps and games. Basically, I'm going to tell you about my experience in Zariba making money from mobile games. I'm a co-founder of Zariba and also as a technical director. In Zariba, we develop mobile games. Mostly for iOS, but also for Android. We have 40 employees. We are based in Varna, Bulgaria, and we have more than 15 million downloads on both platforms of our games. We have some of our games have been on the top ranks worldwide, mostly in Germany, in US, in UK, in France as well. We have several popular games there. And before Zariba, I also have worked on some Java mobile games and also Windows-based pocket PCs and smartphones. We founded Zariba in 2007 and we started with web games, actually. But in 2009, the iPhone became very popular and we decided to try to make a game for iPhone. And we knew at that moment only to charge our users for each install. That means we used the paid apps model of monetization. And we developed our first game. It was called Almond. It's a popular board game in Bulgaria. In English it's called Nine Men's Morris. And doesn't look very good now, but at the moment it was just a try. And it was for iPhone. It was priced at 99 cents. This price was popular also at that time. Angry Birds was also very popular at the moment. And we waited our success. We waited millions of downloads for 99 cents, but actually that never happened. And we sold maybe 30 or 40 copies of the game in the first month. And we were a little bit disappointed, and we actually quit the iPhone development for some time, for a few months, and we came back to web development. But a few months later, we decided to make another try, and we created this quiz game called Zariba Quiz. It's a standard trivia game where you have to answer questions. We have 4 different options. And again, it was a paid application, and it was released in 3 versions. A gold version that contained most of the questions for $5.99. Silver version for $2.99, and bronze with least questions for $1.99. And this game was well accepted, especially in the US market. It was targeting the US market, and all the questions were in English. And we were happy with the results this game provided, and we decided to multiply the success. We decided to clone this game multiple times, and we prepared maybe 30 or 40 versions of this game, just changing the content. That means we changed the questions from different categories. And we were very happy that we're gonna have so many new games. And we submitted all of this to Apple, and they say no. They rejected most of our games. They actually approved only 4 of them. And the reason for the rejection was that we are submitting too many similar games, just the questions were different. And they suggested to us to, instead of submitting so many similar games, to instead release just 1 free game and to use in-app purchases in it for the extra content. And that we listened to them actually, and we prepared a free version, and we moved to the freemium model. In-app purchases, I suppose you all know what they are, but they are a purchase for real money that you are making inside your application. And we released our first free game called Big Brain Quiz, and of course it was free. And all the extra content, the packs of questions, we prepared as in-app purchases. The pricing was from 99 cents to $6. And since now, In this game we have maybe more than 50 different in-app purchases. So this game actually became very popular in the United States. It also was in the top 10 top grossing game for trivia category in USA, and this is a success. So for this moment on, maybe all of our games now contain in-app purchases, and most of them are free to play. Well, I will list the types of in-app purchases that are available. The names are from the Apple App Store, but there are similar in-app purchases in Google Play. I told that my experience is mostly in the iOS, but we also have Android games. So the first type of in-app purchases are consumable in-app purchases that basically can be consumed. That means the user buys in-app purchase, consume it, and don't have it anymore. That means this is a good thing because you can sell one in-app purchase to this user several times, and in this way you can raise your revenue. Some types of consumable in-app purchases are, for example, virtual currency, virtual gold. We use this in some of our games. Also power-ups, lives, and other things. Actually, the top grossing game utilizes this way of in-app purchases to make the highest revenue. Another type of in-app purchases are the non-consumable that, of course, cannot be consumed. Actually, we use them a lot in our games, and examples of non-consumable in-app purchases are packs of levels, or unlock the full features of your application, or remove ads, or as in our quiz game, this was the questions of packs, the packs of questions, I mean. And something that you have to consider about the non-consumable purchases is that your users will buy them only once and will have them for good. And to make them pay more, or make exactly this user to pay more, you have to make updates of your applications, and you have to present them new packs of levels or new questions constantly, because you don't want to sell just one time your paid content. And of course, there is another options to bring more users every day, constant amount of new users that will buy the same content. And this is something you have to keep in mind when using non-consumable in-app purchases. There are also subscriptions, but actually we haven't used them because they are not allowed on the App Store for games. And I don't think there are actually games that use subscriptions on mobile devices. Maybe they are. That's why I can't say much about them, but they are used in TV apps, in video apps, in news apps, in magazines, where you have some monthly subscription for content or annual subscription. And it will be good actually if you can use them in games as well. Okay, so since your users are downloading the game for free, not all of them actually are forced to pay something. Most of them actually are not paying anything. And we've seen that in our games, no more than 3% actually of the users pay something. That means these 3 users are, they bring you all the revenue you want to get from the game comes from these 3% of the users. The rest are not paying nothing. I will tell you how we monetize the rest of the lines, the rest of the users right now. So these 3% of course are your most valuable asset. And of course not all of them pay equally. Some of them buy just one single purchase for 99 cents, and other buys everything. And the latter are called whales, and actually the seller persons call them in this way, and they are even most valuable to you. And one thing you have to consider about using advertisements is that when you advertise another application, it is possible that your users may like the other application better than yours and may not be your users anymore. Also, you have to install or implement third-party SDKs to your applications, and this is always a problem because they are providing updates frequently, and you have to update your applications every time the SDK is updated. And also, this makes the development cost higher. And of course, the users don't like advertisements. But you have to make money in some way, so this is a choice you have to make. What is the process of mobile advertisement? Usually, the user is presented some advertisement, some commercial in a different form, and this is called an impression. After that, he could click on this advertisement, and this is called a click. And after that, he's redirected to the App Store, where he could download and install the advertised application. This is called an install. And in most of the cases, after that, you get your money from this user. Of course, there are different ways you can be paid in advertisements, and one of them is the CPM. This is called cost per mil, or the money you will get from 1,000 impressions you will provide to your users. This is very popular in web advertisement. Or you could be paid for each click. This is popular when you advertise a brand, for example. Or CPI, cost per install, when you're paid for each install. Actually, in most of the cases, you will not work directly with the advertiser, but you will work with the ad network. And the ad network usually gets 50% from the money from the advertiser, and the other 50% gives to you. But they are actually they are not telling you exactly how much money they get from the advertiser. They are providing you with the metric called eCPM, or estimated cost per mil, and you have to calculate your revenue based on this metric. I told that cost per mil is how much money you're gonna take from 1,000 impressions you're providing for your users. So based on the traffic, you can calculate the revenue you will have from advertisements. Let's see what types or forms of advertisement are available in mobile applications. I will list not all of them because there are a lot, but I will list you only what we use in Zariba. And of course, banners. They are most popular way of advertising something in both web and mobile. They're usually a rectangular image on the top or the bottom of the application, and the user can click on it and we will redirect it to the App Store. Though they give low eCPM, but actually we use them in our games because we provide a lot of impressions to our users using banners, and even with the low eCPM, we make a good revenue from them. They sometimes can distract users, of course, especially when you are placing them for example, in a game where the gameplay is. And also, the user may accidentally click on these banners, and this is not a very good thing, both for the user and for you, because from accidental clicks you don't take any money. A better type of advertisement are interstitials, and these are full-screen apps or pop-ups that appear in the middle of the user session, and they give high eCPM. The user may click on the pop-up or may close it, and they look better than banners. They're bigger pictures, really beautiful, and but in many of the games they appear not very good time actually, and they also could interrupt the user session, and user can quit the game in not good timing. Another type is the offer walls. We use two providers for walls, NativeX and Tapjoy, and they are a list of offers that are presented to the user, and he can complete some of the offers in return of a reward. The rewards, they're used actually mostly in the games, and the games with virtual currencies, where the user is provided a choice either to buy the virtual currency with real money, or to complete some offers and get this virtual currency for free. Keep in mind that not all of these offers actually are free. Example offers are complete the first level of Angry Birds and get this beautiful power-up. This is free. And another way is, for example, buy Skype credit and get this virtual currency for free. This is not free offer. Another way that is pretty similar to the interstitials are the video advertisements. They are, again, they appear in the middle of the session, or by clicking some special button, see a video to get something, but they are video. And they also look better than banners or even interstitials, and they actually may be liked from your users. They also give highest eCPM, maybe not highest, but one of the highest eCPMs. In most of the cases, they give rewards to your users just for watching the video. And in most of the cases, also you are paid not after the install, but after the impression of the entire video, which is also a good thing. In this example, the user first watches the video, then he is provided the choice to download this game. He may download, he may not, but he will get his reward in both cases. So these are mostly the ways of making money from games we use. And of course, not all of the methods brings equal revenue. So I will compare all the above methods, and I'll tell you what we make actually from our games in percentages. So from in-app purchases, we make 50% of the revenue, and 45% from advertisement, 5% for paid apps. Actually, we are currently increasing the revenue from paid apps by utilizing alternative channels, not only using Google Play or Apple Store to sell our games, but also using alternative Android app stores like Amazon, Samsung apps, T-Store in Korea. Also, we have direct deals with mobile carriers. So this number will grow in next month. And also you can see that since 3% of the users pay something in the free games, they are bringing 50% of your revenue, or my revenue in the example. And the rest, 97%, bring just the 45% of the revenue. So your goal should be actually to increase the number of payers and to make them pay more, because the revenue from in-app purchases is I believe it's the most valuable. There are, of course, other ways of making money from games and or applications. And this is one of the best actually. The branding. It's to make a deal with a popular brand and to get money from this brand to customize your game or the name of your game to include the name of the brand or some visual creative of this brand. Of course, this is not an option for most of the games. Actually, your game or application needs already to be very popular to make a deal with good brand, and this means that you already will make a lot of money with popular game, but this is actually a very good way of making even more money with the game. And these are two examples: the Fruit Ninja vs. Skittles. Fruit Ninja is the game where you are slicing fruits, in the original version, and here you're slicing Skittles. And if none of the above methods work for you, you can always save your game, the source code or the entire game or user data. I receive maybe 3 or 4 propositions of, from Indians or Chinese people, developers that are selling the source code of Flappy Bird or Angry Birds or whatever for $100 or something. So it is popular way, and also there is a very popular website called Uptopia where you can sell your entire business of mobile applications or just a single game or application. You can also sell just the user data, but this is not very legal in all of the countries, and it depends. You can sell this user data to marketing agencies or whoever is interested in it, and you can sell the entire business you have and start growing tomatoes or whatever if you can make money from mobile games. I will show you some data that is not from my experience, but it's public data. What the others do, the other companies do. I will list a few of the top grossing games and what they do. So this is an example of a paid game. This is actually the most profitable paid game called Minecraft Pocket Edition. There is a Minecraft for PCs, and this is just the Pocket Edition. It is developed from by I believe Swedish developer Mojang, and it is priced at $6.99. It's available on Android, on iOS, and maybe on different platforms. And it's the #1 top grossing paid game for both Google Play and Apple's App Store. And the source is Wall Street Journal. They say they make $80,000 per day just on iOS. So you can multiply this number for all of the platforms. Let's see an example of a freemium game. This is Clash of Clans, a very popular game made by Finnish company Supercell. The company is founded just a few years ago, and they revealed that their revenue for 2013 is $892 million. So it's a pretty good number. They make $3 million per day on all platforms. This was revealed by a hacker actually, so may not be exactly this number, but they make a lot. They actually feature just in-app purchases. They don't have advertisements. Of course, if you sell $3 million as in-app purchases, you don't need to advertise at all. And because by advertising you can redirect your users to another games, and this is not a good thing. Actually, these guys are they advertise in maybe all of the games I've seen, so they are the top advertiser at all. And this is another top advertiser, Candy Crush Saga, also a very popular game. It came actually from Facebook, but it's now very popular on mobile, on Android, on iOS. They say they make $800,000 per day just on iOS, so maybe they make $1.5 million on both all of the platforms. It's currently #2 top grossing game on iOS. Again, good numbers. And last year, one game made a big sensation on all of the platforms, mostly because it was developed just for 3 days by a single Vietnamese developer, and very fast became the most played game everywhere. And it was estimated that this guy makes $50,000 per day, and the game monetizes only from banner ads, and it has just a single banner. And imagine if it had, for example, interstitials, video ads, or even a single in-app purchase like remove ads. Maybe it could make $150,000 per day. But it is a very good number for a single developer for 3 days. But actually he couldn't deal with the stress, and he quit the game. It stopped, you know, maybe the story. So this is the story for talk about, I actually have it on my phone, and I can sell it for $1,000 now on eBay. Okay, was fast, but for a conclusion, I can give you a few advices. For example, the most important thing before starting actually to think on monetization is to have a good application or a good game. Because if you have a good game, it will be very easy to make money for it. Because there are a lot of games, and you have to deal with the other games. And the second thing is that when you have a good application, you have to create a user base, because the users are the guys that are paying to you. They are using your monetization method, and so you have to first acquire enough users so you can later get their money. And right after that, you can experiment with the different monetization models. I listed the models we use, and they are okay for us, but other models may be better for you. So my suggestion is just to experiment and to see which one fits best to your application, to your game. So that's it. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions.
My first and most considering question is that I know that the European Union is moving to a law that will ban most likely the freemium model. So you give the user a free application that has downloadable content, and that will be probably banned in the next half a year in the European Union. Is that a major concern for in-app purchases from that kind, and is that a big portion of that in-app purchases profit that you said that it's about half of your profit? And for now that.
Okay, thanks for the question. This won't happen actually. I don't believe it. For example, Apple created a new category for kids, because there were a lot of compliances from parents just for kids games, where the kids actually are allowed to buy several purchases or to make a big bill to their parents. And now they created a new category, kids category, where there are different rules for the games, and especially for in-app purchases. For example, many of the games or applications that feature in-app purchases in this category requires some special gate before the kid can buy something. For example, to deal with some equation, or to make some special gesture or something before he can buy something. So maybe this is the way, but I don't believe that the freemium model will be banned. How can this happen?
The Spenders Society, or whatever they call it, Ministry of taking care of people that spend money. That's a whole department about that was initially initiated by British government. It's telling that those kind of sales to your clients are thought of as scams, and they are moving to ban it the same way that they returned the first iPhone ad in Britain, when they said the iPhone can do anything, and they have to redo it and give another ad for British market.
Well, I don't know what to say. Just if this happened, we'll think on something, how to continue. Maybe the payments will be external in this way when this happens. There are actually available external payments now. They are not liked by the app stores, but for example, if you have e-shop or something, you can redirect your users to the website where you can pay there. Or if you are in gambling, gambling is not allowed in many of the countries on the mobile apps. They are really good. Just the Apple and Google don't like them a lot. They are legal.
You need to have a license, you need to have a company license in a special country, and you can like run online casinos on Android. And
Yeah.
there are companies who do that.
From the ad revenue, which type of ad did make the most?
I can tell just based on my experience, but the interstitials make the most, banners second, and video apps overall not so much. But it depends a lot on the applications you have, and because we are placing banners and interstitials in our games. We don't use overalls, for example, a lot. That's why revenue from overalls is like 2 or 3% actually. We also don't use video ads a lot, but if we do that, we may make even more than interstitials from there. So it depends on the game and the application and the way you would like to monetize through advertisements.
Why aren't you using video ads more? I mean, what's the reason behind that?
To use video ads more?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
first,
like, decide certain key points in the game and then just pop in a video ad saying, okay, you'll get more coins if you watch this video or whatnot.
in our games, we use video ads as an option for a free currency, actually. So in our virtual shops, we are providing a choice to our users, either to buy with real cash, to use the offer, or to watch a video to get the free content. So what we're using in this way. But I've seen in other applications that you are just staying on some screen, and in some time pop-up is appearing with video, and you can't stop it. There is a no X button, and you have to watch the entire video. Well, the video is cool, but it is repeating the same video every time, so it would be annoying.
So it's an inventory problem. There are not enough video ads, so you can show a lot of them, right?
In Bulgaria, there are not enough ads at all, but it's not only that problem. It really, yeah, it really depends on what you want to provide to your users, what experience you want to provide. The best way is to actually not advertise and to make 3 million just for in-app purchases.
So you guys use Tapjoy and that's it for video ads?
No, we don't use Tapjoy, we use Vango for video ads. We also have used Tapjoy. And for overalls, we use NativeX and Tapjoy.
Are you trying to focus on building a hit game, or your strategy is building a lot of games that bring small revenue?
We've tried both.
Which one works better?
And professional content writers for different countries, and of course we localize the text inside the game and also the name. For example, the German version is called Den Sportquiz, and the French version is something like Les Défis de Cerveau.
That's so much. Yeah.
Since you said the best way of revenue is in-app purchases, what part of the world is most buying your in-app purchases? Since I'm pretty sure that some parts that are very poor are mostly deadbeats, and the other parts are mostly whales, as you call them.
This is right.
Can you tell us which demographics we should focus on so we can actually maximize our profit from, I don't know, appealing to them with their cultural signs, with their language and things like that?
Yeah, in our games, the top buyers are the US citizens. Well, public data from marketing agencies say that the Japanese market now gives the highest revenue in the mobile games. But we don't have any strong positions in Japan, and our games are not localized. Actually, they are localized, but they are not popular in Japan. The US market gives to us the highest revenue, and the German market is in second place. So we are mainly focused on the US and the German-speaking market, also French-speaking as well. There is a problem, or was a problem actually, for Android games on Google Play, because, for example, in Korea you can't use Visa or Mastercard credit card to pay. This is also a problem for Apple because they required exactly this kind of credit card for a payment. And in China you can't as well, and in many different countries you have. In Germany there are different ways of payment. And now Google works directly with mobile carriers to provide the carrier billing, which is very good. And this brings actually this makes the revenue from in-app purchases on Android higher. Korea is one of the biggest markets of smartphone games. We have a game for Kakao Talk, the Korean messenger prepared also, but it's not released yet. And the Android there maybe have more than 70% of the market share, and most of the people there they pay with carrier billing and in different ways, not via credit cards. So you can also implement third-party payment SDKs. There are a lot for different parts of the world. For example, Indonesia and India are very big markets that are growing now, and there you also have to think on some way to take their money in different way, not their credit cards.
I wanted to ask you, how much do you think your success is due to the fact that you entered early in the game and you were able to present the first quiz game in the App Store? And also in that way, how do you promote your new games? How do you make them popular?
Yeah. A lot, actually. Timing was one of the most important things we made. And we started with the quiz game. And at that time, maybe it was a very good strategic move we made, and I understand that this is a key factor for our success. Actually, one of our top game is called Bubble Shooter Adventures. It's a bubble shooter game where shooting balls and matching three of them. It is now a very popular model, and we also released one of the first bubble shooters on the App Store. There were different bubble shooters, but they looked ugly, and our looked better than this. And this game now have 8 million downloads. So the timing is very important, maybe the most important thing, because we don't have VCs or something behind us to give 10 million for marketing or something. And we, of course, have a marketing department. We advertise our games, but in the beginning, we didn't do that, and the virality was the key factor of our games. So it is important, yes.
Are you focusing more on games that will go viral like that one? Or are you focusing more on titles? For example, there are Final Fantasy titles that cost $20 and they have like 10,000 downloads, and that's a lot of revenue. Which one of the starting points is better from those?
We at Zeriba, we try to balance. We're developing constantly low-cost viral applications or games that we would like to be viral hits, and we don't want to spend too much for them. And we also have big ideas for bigger games that are original and will require more investment and, of course, marketing. So we are working now on 2 or 3 of such titles, and they will be available maybe in the end of the year or next year.
Can you share your opinion about which ad networks are more profitable and how it depends on, for example, for US and Bulgaria, for example, which is more profitable here and elsewhere?
Yeah, I have to tell that my experience is not on the Bulgarian market. I can't say much about it because it's a very small market, and interesting fact is that when we test our in-app purchases, just for 5 or 6 in-app purchases, we are getting in a top rank here in Bulgaria on the App Store. So it's a very small market. The best way to monetize through advertisements is to make a direct deal with an advertiser. For example, Chartboost, this ad network, provides the opportunity to make a deal directly with King or Supercell. And if you have a good traffic, you can sell this traffic for a good price. And this is the best way to get money from an advertiser. Different ad networks provide different eCPMs, and they are not constant. If you advertise the same game to your users every day, they will probably have it already, and you will stop receiving the money for installs. You know. So actually, what we use is to we have developed our own SDK that implements like 10 or 15 third-party network ad network SDKs, and we are setting a percentage of displaying the different ads to our users from different ad networks, and we are watching the eCPM from which one, each one, and we are deciding what to advertise.
So it's changing. You don't have a top advertising network that brings you the most revenue.
Yeah, it's changed.
So why did you choose to like develop your own mediation tool? Why did you like go with MoPub or other public?
Advertisement to show to the user based on the eCPM. They are available, but we have it.
Yeah.
So that's the reason. So, any more questions? I hope that what I told you today was interesting for you. It was my experience. It wasn't a tutorial how to make money, but it was my story how I'm making money. And we are working. We are 40 guys. We have offices in Varna, in Turnovo. We had office actually in the Philippines as well. But this is it. Okay, so thank you again, and please evaluate this session through the mobile application of Mobcom, and give me a higher rank.